I'm so excited to make this video for you. So we're just going to do very simple stuff like you said, and if you want me to make another video in a little bit, we can do that. So usually we do yoga, make sure you don't have any shoes on, and just wear anything comfortable. And then we always start in a seated position just so we can just relax. And we always start with our pose Namaste. It means the light in me recognizes and bows to the light in you. So we bring our hands right at heart center and we take a deep breath. Namaste. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get on our hands and our knees. So this is just table position. So we're just going to kind of realign our spine just a little bit. So you can see right here, it just looks just like this. You'll like pull your pelvis in and then you'll pull your pelvis out just like that. So we have cat and cow. Up and then down. So when you come up, just take a deep inhale in, and then you come down and exhale out. We're going to curl our toes under. So as you can see right here, sorry about the butt shot. Curl your toes under, and then you're just going to lift your hips just like that. So we're going to come back in a downward facing dog. Now if your heels can't touch the floor, your heels might kind of be just like right up there, which is fine, and we're just going to pedal through. And if they can, you'll just bring them straight down. So you should feel a stretch right in your calf muscles when you do this. So sometimes I'll just come straight up on my toes just to get a good toe stretch. And then just pedal through. So we're just warming up our body now. So now we're going to bring our knees down and we're going to bring our hips back to sit on our feet and just come all the way forward in child's pose. And we're going to come back up to table pose. We're going to curl our toes under and then we're going to bring our knees up, coming back into our downward facing dog. You're going to lift your right leg up, just straight up. So our hips shouldn't be opening here, and our shoulders shouldn't be opening. We're going to keep our shoulders straight and our hips aligned. We're going to lift our right foot up as high as we can. Then when you're ready, we're going to bring our right foot in between our feet, our hands, right here. So now you're just in a runner's lunge. We're going to stay here for 5 seconds. All right, so your back foot right here, we're just going to kind of bring it down, and then we're going to bring our hands up. So we're going to come into Warrior Two. Now your knee, when you look down at your knee, you should only see your big toe. So if your knee is kind of over here, you won't see your big toe, so you bring your knee out. So now I can see my big toe. And then if your shoulders are creeping all the way up to your ears, just kind of relax them and bring them down. And we're going to hold this pose just for a few seconds. Now we're going to come into a different type of warrior pose, you're going to bring your hand out and then just lean back. So instead of being, let me back up a little bit so you can see. Okay. So you're going to go from here and forward and then just back. And we're going to come back up to warrior two. We're going to do that one more time. Forward and then back. And then come back. We're going to cartwheel our hands back down. So we're back in our runner's lunge, and then we're going to step back. So we're back in downward facing dog. So we're just going to take 2 seconds right here just to relax just a little bit. If your right leg hurts, you can just kind of wiggle your legs out to relieve it just a little bit. So we're going to bring our left foot up. And again, we're just going to keep our hips straight and our shoulders at the same plane. And then when you're ready, we're going to bend our knee and bring our left foot in between our hands. We're going to stay here in our runner's lunge for just a second. All right, so we're going to bring that right foot down, and then we're going to cartwheel our way back up. So we're in our warrior two, but on the other side. Just one more second. We're going to flip up and then come back. And then come back warrior two. We're going to flip up and then come back. And then back to warrior two. And we're going to cartwheel our way back down. So we're in our runner's lunge. And then we're going to step back to downward facing dog. Now we're going to drop our knees and bring our hips down, and we're going to relax in child's pose. We're going to come back up to our tabletop position, and we're going to bring our right leg forward. Now we're in a low lunge, and we're going to keep our knee down, and then look kind of behind you and make sure your left foot is straight. So it shouldn't be at an angle, so like you wouldn't see it right there. I'm just going to straighten it out. So we're going to stay here on the top of our fingertips in our low lunge, and then when you're ready, we're just going to come back up. We're just going to lift our hips up. And we're just going to kind of sink down just a little bit, but our hips are still going to be lifted. And then we're going to make sure our hips are still facing forward. And you come here at heart center, or you can extend your arms up. All right, so we're going to come back at heart center, and we're just going to do a little bit of a twist. So you're going to just bring your left elbow and bring on the outside of your right knee. We're going to come back to center. We're going to drop our hands. We're going to curl our left toes under, lift up our knee, and then bring our right leg back. And then drop our knees again, so we're back into our tabletop position. So this time we're going to bring our left knee forward, and we're in our low lunge. We're just going to hold it for just a second, and just make sure your right foot is straight back. We're going to lift our hips, sink down just a little bit, and come to heart center, or we can lift our arms. come back to heart center, and then we're going to do our twist, and now we're going to bring our right elbow and bring it to the outside of our left knee. Come back to center. We're going to drop our hands, uncurl our toes, lift our knee, and then step back to downward facing dog. We're just going to kind of pedal our legs out. I'm sure they're just a little sore. And then we're going to drop our knees, and then we're going to come back. So we're just going to kind of stretch out the top of our legs here. Kind of give them a massage first. Now we're going to do something called hero pose. It's a little bit of a pelvic workout. So you can stay here if you want to, or you can move back into reclined hero a little bit, where you, it might be better if I get on this side. So just like this, and you can just kind of move back until you're on your elbows, but we're going to try our best to keep our knees down. And I always just kind of hold the bottoms of my feet. Then when you're ready, we're going to come up onto our hands. So our fingers are going to be facing towards the backs of our toes. And then we're just going to kind of lift up here. So you might feel it in your shoulders a little bit. And if it hurts too much, then you just kind of bring it back down. We're going to come back up. And then bring it back down. So we're going to do that probably about 6 or 7 times. So up and then back down. All right, and just kind of stretch forward back into your child's pose. All right, we're going to come back up, and now we're going to go into our yogic squat. So you're just going to bring first your right leg out, and then your left leg out. And you're just going to kind of sit back. Now, if you need to support yourself up, if you can't balance just on your feet, it's fine. Just kind of keep your hands down. And you're just going to kind of use your elbows to open your knees as much as you can so you can really feel the stretch in here. If you want, this is my favorite way to do it, is kind of just put my hands at heart center. And this really allows you to stretch your knees as far as possible. Now, your feet shouldn't be straight. That's not going to be good for your knees. So you want your feet kind of just pointed out just a tiny bit, so it doesn't hurt your knees. Our knees tend not to work well that way. Now, if this is very uncomfortable, you can put pillows underneath your bottom, and it might be a little more comfortable then. Now, just to add a little dimension to the pose, you can kind of go up just to kind of stretch your hips out in a different way, and then up this way. And I always like stretching out my toes. I know it's an odd term. It's because you never think about it, but we're on our feet all day, and it's good to stretch out your feet, stretching out those toes.